Hi guys, and welcome to the Hull City vs Sunderland match review. And Sunderland have just got away with a 1-0 win. It was an incredibly scrappy game down at Hull. But firstly, before we do get into it, I hope you all had a brilliant Christmas. Merry Christmas to all of you. I've actually been really ill over the Christmas period. I'm just coming out the back of it now, so apologies if I cut this one a bit short. I'm just feeling really under the weather. I don't know what it is. It's just typical, and it's this time of year. But that Sunderland win has put a smile on my face. It has made me feel miles better, I have to say. And what's mad is if you have a look at the league table now, you know, people must look at, you know, other fans must look at us and just think, as soon as we lose a game or we go through a string of shit games, be it win-lose, or losing games, drawing games, playing poorly, it looks like we're just causing such a fuss. But then what happens is we win one game and we're somehow still back in the playoffs. I don't understand how the hell it's happening, but we go through strings of not being able to win or playing shit, and it looks like we're falling miles away. Then we win one game and again we're back in 6th place. We've leapfrogged Hull on goal difference. So it's just mad how it happens. You know, when we're going through our sort of shit streaks or our dipping forms, other teams aren't taking advantage, because then all it takes is one win, you know, for us to pick up in form again to get back in the top 6. But, you know, we're very, very close to having an almost identical performance to what we saw last time out. And the only thing was that we didn't concede. And, you know, like I said, last time out, when we conceded, we just completely collapsed. But the actual performance itself, you know, separate from the defending, was almost identical. It was just a lot of ball being played around the edge of the box without anything really happening. Very wasteful in front of goal. And that's just what we've seen all season. But luckily for us, with 10 minutes to go, Jack Clark comes up with a Jack Clark moment. Cutting in from left to right. We say it's predictable, but he still seems to be bagging them relatively constantly. Cutting in from left to right and then driving it into the far corner to make it 1-0, 10 minutes left, and then we are hanging on for dear life. But, you know, getting to the general game itself, we did start Bradley Dack. It was a weird one. You know, getting out from the outset, it looked like a bit of a 4-2-4 almost, particularly out of possession. With, obviously, Pato in goal. We had Hume, O'Nien, Ballard, and Seals starting at right back. I don't like Seals at right back, but we'll get that into it a little bit later on. In the middle, we had Ekwa and Dhannoo. And then, like I said, it was almost like a flat 4 rather than 2 strikers with Clark, Job, Bradley Dack, and Paddy Roberts. Now, for the opening sort of 10 minutes or so, it was just all Hull in terms of just keeping the ball, but they weren't doing anything with it. They were just playing it along the back, being very, very patient with it, and we were just sat and allowing them possession. It was almost like the way we were with Leeds, but they weren't making anything of the ball, whereas Leeds were progressively making their way into the box or into our half. They weren't really doing anything. I think Connolly had one sort of hopeful effort from distance that went straight to Pato, really. Didn't really need to do too much. But other than that, they didn't create anything. You know, we were losing the ball, they'd break forward, then they'd lose the ball, we'd break forward, and that was pretty much it. But we were creating sort of half chances here and there, you know, chances from distance, as we always see. Jack Clark being one of them. I think Ekwa had a couple that were blocked. Daniel had some that were blocked. Patrick Roberts, again, cutting him from right to left. And his end product this season, Paddy Roberts, you know, it's mad because he's like one of our most dangerous players, but his end product is horrendous. You know, and he did have some absolute belting chances in this game. I think one, he did cut him from right to left as he does. One goes way wide. You'd expect him to hit the target. But in the second half in particular, you know, before half-time, Bradley Dack comes off. And I'm going to say, you know, Bradley Dack, I don't understand what he offers. I think in the entire half, he had about 3 touches. One of them, I think, he gave it away. And the other 2, just gives it to the closest Sunderland man he can see. And then he just runs away. He looks incredibly Sunday League, unfit. And when you've got other players on the bench that you'd like to think can offer so much, like Alshish, Pritchard, and that's just not even looking at the strikers at this point, you do struggle to think why the hell Bradley Dack has got himself a start or he's even in the squad. But he does come off, you know, I don't wish any Sunderland player bad luck or anything like that, and I hope he does return from injury. It's nothing too big, but he had to come off. But going into the second half, like I said, Paddy Roberts did have an excellent chance, pretty much 1-on-1 with the keeper, and he hits it straight at him. It is at an angle, I'll give that to him. But again, we are making chances. Early doors in that second half as well. Hull, you know, we nearly shot ourselves in the foot. We give away the ball in a very, very dangerous area. Again, it was Connolly. They pull it back to Connolly, sort of penalty spot. No Sunderland around him. All he has to do is put it past Pato. And it's like he's almost in two minds. He doesn't really know what to do, and he just almost passes it straight to Pato. Glorious opportunity for Hull. But then again, it's just all us. I feel like we've dominated large periods of that second half. Our Sheesh, like I said, he did replace Dak. He looked very dangerous. He was constantly looking for something, constantly whipping dangerous balls in. And he had a couple of chances, himself without really testing the keeper. But again, it's just one of them. These reviews are getting very repetitive, and it is almost exactly the same, identical to the previous, and so many other games so far this season, where it is just us just lingering on the edge of the opposition box and just not being able to thread the ball through. There were chances where, Al Sheesh was trying to thread the ball through for Pritchard, who did eventually come on, and vice versa, and it was just off. No strikers got on the pitch again. But like I say, eventually we did break the deadlock. Jack Clark cuts in from left to right, and he fires it across goal into the bottom right-hand corner, sends the Sunderland fans mad, and we managed to get away with the win. But once that goal did go in, it was absolutely all Hull. They were throwing everything at it. They had set pieces flung into the box, goal mile scrambles, the lot. I think they did have a free kick right at the end of the game, where I think he just smashed into the wall, and eventually the whistle did go. We brought on Triantis as well. It was nice to see him get on the pitch. Clock did come off for Triantis. I think literally just to see the game out. So I think we can see there, with games like this, when it is such a scrappy affair, what Beale is going to be like. It is going to be a case of get everyone behind the ball, let's defend the lead, which I'm totally fine with. If it means, in games like that where there is such little between the sides, if he's going to go out all defensive once we've grabbed hold of a lead, so many teams do it against us, why not do it? It isn't pretty to watch, but we need the points. I'd rather we get the points at that stage in a game. But yeah, so it's good that we've got back to winning ways, and a clean sheet as well, which is absolutely fantastic as usual. I'm sure Michael Bowers will be screaming the house down. He's got his Christmas present. But in general, yes, it was another one of them games where we were making ample chances and didn't take them. I mentioned Seal earlier. I wasn't a fan of seeing Seal on that right-hand side. I like Seal in a back three. I think it's really nice. But on that right-hand side, to be fair, more so in that second half, he did get forward relatively well. But he's not one of those defenders, he's a big lad. He's 6'3", 6'4" lad. He's a big brick shithouse. He's a decent defender. I like him. He's good at getting the challenge in. Great in the air, as you'd expect for such a big lad. He's just a good general defender. But on the right-hand side, and with the attacking kind of play that we do generally go with in our system, he isn't like an overlapping defender. He's not one of them. He's a big brick shithouse. And whenever he gets the ball, a lot of the time, particularly in the first half, it takes a while for him to get into it, I think, as it did last time we've seen him play it right back. He just wants to shift the ball immediately. He gives it back as where it come from. So if 09 shifts it out on the right-hand side, or Ballard shifts it out to him, and everyone's expecting him to fly forward, it's not going to happen. He's going to give it back or give it away straight away, give it straight to first Sunderland man he sees, which you almost expect he's not that kind of player. So I don't like that he's been shoehorned into that area. I think he would look so much better alongside the likes of Dan Ballard, something like that, and maybe even stick 09 out on right back. We know we can do a job there, Luke 09. I just think, although he has been solid, I'm not saying he's played poorly today, I just think we could capitalise a lot better on that right-hand side. It's almost a waste of a position nearly, or at least it's not fulfilled to the best of its potential on that right-hand side, because Seal just isn't that kind of player. But either way, we got ourselves back to winning ways, and I'm absolutely buzzing with it. I really, really am. It's good that Beale's got his first win there. It was a really negative atmosphere, and I think just building a bit of momentum is the only way forward. We're heading towards January now. It'd be very interesting to see what happens. It's another coach that has come in who's refusing to play strikers. When you've got 4 strikers at your disposal, they can't get on the pitch. They're all on the bench, and even Bradley Dack, of all players, is getting a starting place ahead of you. There's questions that have to be asked. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know. It'd be interesting to see what happens in the January transfer window, whether we're going to want to dip into the market for another striker. Because, like I said, we've got all these 4 young strikers who all apparently offer something different. They're not getting any game time whatsoever, and I don't know whether that is just a case of maybe they have all been told individually what their role is going to be for the rest of the season. Maybe they've said to Mayenda, you're going to go out on loan, so you might not see too much game time. I'm going to stick you out on loan. Same with Hamia, maybe Rusin. We'll have to see what happens. Sorry, what happens. I've liked the look of Mayenda. And in different games as well, Rusin has looked pretty dangerous. But we obviously and very clearly need that cutting edge up top, because you know, this side, we've played without a strike for too long. But again, I'm just beating a dead horse at this point. But there we go. Let me know in the comments down below. What did you think of today's game? And if you have enjoyed, please hit the like button for me. It's always massively appreciated. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already to become a fully fledged member of the Sarny Army. But for now, take care and stay jammy.